Hi, I am Shauna Lake with Deep in Talent Strategies, and we're going to talk about what is in a name, meaning what does your email address tell recruiters about you? And some of that may not be what you want them to know, and sometimes it might be intentional, but let's make sure that what they're interpreting about your email address is what you really want them to know and believe to be true about you and the kind of employee that you are going to be. So, we're going to dive into how recruiters are judging you on both sides of the at symbol. Now, I'm not personally judging you for your email address. In fact, my job as a recruiter and a career coach is to tell you what you need to know to compete and win in today's job market. I am not here to tell you what you want to hear. That's not really going to help you advance. So please take this advice in the spirit in which it's meant, which is simply to be your advocate and your champion in the job search. If we haven't met yet, again, I'm Shauna Lake with Deep in Talent Strategies, and I work with recruiters and hiring managers and small business owners about half of my time. And I spend the other half of my time as a career coach and career consultant. And working with both sides allows me to stay up to date, to bridge the gap sometimes between the employer experience and the candidate experience. And I have frequent conversations so I know what they are thinking when they see your application, they see your resume, and they judge things by you, like your email address. So we will dive in here to what recruiters and hiring managers really want to know. They want to know at the end of the day, can you do the job? Are you going to show up and stick around? Can you play nice with others? Are you drama free? And can you learn quickly and can you keep up? They can't learn these things by your resume. Sure, you can say you do those things on your resume, but if you've ever heard of anybody taking some creative liberties with their resume, or you may or may not have ever met somebody who is a different person when you work with them versus on paper. So recruiters and hiring managers, most of them have been around the block enough to know that you want to try to learn more about a person besides what they have put on their resume or their application. So again, they want to know these 5 things. And if they can't learn those from the resume or the application, they're going to try to infer them from other things, going to your social media sites, or simply what does your email address say about you? Also, things like your mailing address. In fact, you should only put your city and state. But if you're applying for a position in Denver, but you currently live in Los Angeles, they may say, oh gosh, they're going to need relocation benefits and we can't afford that. So that's not a negative judgment on you, but these are the kinds of things that they're thinking when they see your information. So when we talk about the things they're looking for, again, they're trying to figure out kind of what's behind that. When they look at your job application and your resume, some things are going to be really obvious that you would expect them to be looking for. For example, do they have the background and the experience and the education that I'm looking for? Do they read the job description? Do they follow my instructions? If I said provide salary requirements, did they do that? If not, well, if I can't expect them to follow the application's instructions, how are they going to follow their manager's instructions if I hire them? And did I say provide a cover letter and they didn't? Okay, they're out. If I said no cover letter and they didn't pay attention. They don't have good attention to detail. So here's the kind of a deep, dark, dirty secret about recruiting. Most of us as job applicants think that recruiters and hiring managers are going through this big stack of resumes and they're trying to find the best candidate. At the end of the process, they are for sure doing that. But in the beginning, when they have hundreds, and now with today's job market, thousands of applicants for every position. What they're really trying to do with the first pass and even the second pass is figure out how to weed that down, because there are going to be probably, for some positions, 300 applicants who, at least on paper, until they get to know them and have an interview, look like they could do the job well. So they're looking for reasons to take them out of consideration to narrow down this pile of applications. And that isn't to discriminate against anybody or to make judgments or to leverage stereotypes that may or may not be relevant to that individual. It's simply to go by gut instinct and past experience, or looking for picky reasons why they can narrow down this massive pool of candidates. And if you think about what a recruiter is dealing with, I told you they're getting hundreds or thousands of applications for a particular role, but they may be managing 3 to 5 different open positions, or sometimes up to 10 different open positions. So they have to find a way of narrowing this down. And I am not trying to make recruiters out to be bad people. In fact, some of my favorite humans are recruiters. And the fact that I can have great conversations with them gives me this intel that I'm going to share with you so that you can compete and win in today's job market. And my goal is to just level the playing field for all of the job seekers out there. So we talked about what it is that they are trying to learn. So here are some things that we're going to talk about. What are they interpreting about you before the @ sign and after the @ sign? I went ahead and brought over the 5 things they're looking for and put it in the bottom left-hand corner of the slide so that you can see those as I go over some of these sample email addresses. And these are not actual email addresses that I have seen from anybody watching this or any of my clients, but ones I made up that follow themes of things that I have seen through my 20 plus years of recruiting. So what we want to make sure that we do is we have the recruiters and the hiring managers know what you can do, your skills, your knowledge, your experience, your drive, your work ethic. And we don't want to give them a reason to discriminate you against age or any protected class, but we don't want to say something where you're trying to be funny or casual, but it can get interpreted as somebody who's not willing to work hard and be professional and represent the company and its brand. So I'm going to go through some of these examples and tell you why they may give a recruiter a reason to set you aside. Best glamour, fun, lighthearted. Probably I did have an amazing grandmother growing up, but if glamour had been a trendy term, mine would have been the best glamour. When I have grandchildren, I would love to be called glamour. But if you're going to put that on a job application, you're saying I'm a grandmother, which means I'm at least of a certain age. And what are some of the things that people may start to judge? Is she going to be able to keep up with us? Can she follow technology? Is she up to date on our industry? Is she going to be too distracted by taking time off to watch her grandchildren, to work overtime and nights and weekends? And again, these are some of these are subconscious things that recruiters and hiring managers are thinking. I'm sure none of them are waking up in the morning saying, how can I discriminate against grandmother? So please don't take this in that light. These are the quick judgments that we're making when we glance at a resume and we're trying to figure out how we narrow down a candidate pool from 1,000 to maybe 10 to do phone screens with. Okay, so the second one, Jim and Joan 2334. 2334 could be a random number assigned by the email provider, could be the street address, probably doesn't matter. When you have 2 people who share an account, as a HR person, that always made me a little bit nervous that if I were communicating with an employee that the message wasn't secure, because you're telling me that there's probably at least 2 people who can see that email address. It also invites a little bit of age discrimination, because when a lot of couples started getting email accounts in their household, it was pretty common for a family to have one email account. And so they created that, and that may be an email address they've had for 20 years or 30 years. And that again tells me, are they really staying up to date on technology? And then there is also a bit of a perception that if people are sharing an email address or a social media account, that they're in a distrusting relationship. Please don't throw anything at your screen. Again, I'm not passing judgment or saying that that is true or untrue, but it's a perception. And again, if you come back over here to the things that recruiters and hiring managers are looking for, is they don't want any drama. If someone is in a negative relationship at home, it may bring drama into the workplace. That may be a reason where I just say pass. Hot Mess 94. Got a couple things going on there. First of all, I don't need any drama, so I'm probably not going to want to talk to somebody who is self-proclaiming to be a hot mess. And then 94, you've told me how old you are. That's not bad. That may be great. That may be a demographic that I know fits really well inside of my workforce. But the hot mess, no. Carrie Goldman, 2003. having the full name in there is great because it makes it really easy for someone to type in your email address to send you a message or put it into their HRIS system. 2003 is telling me somebody's age. In this case, that may work against someone because they may be discriminating against them for being too young, thinking that there's no way that someone born in 2003, and by the way, if that's your street address, it's confusing. People are going to just automatically assume it's the year you were born. So if you were born in 2003, but your resume is showing me someone with 15 or 20 years of experience, I'm going to think that you're not being honest or you lack self-awareness, and I'm going to set you aside. So again, just telling you how it is so that you can have a fair chance out there. Okay, the next one is I make cabinets. This could be awesome if someone's applying to work in a cabinet manufacturer. If someone's applying to be a banker and they're telling me they make cabinets, I may know what their hobby is. I may know that they work hard, that they're not afraid to roll up their sleeves and do physical labor. But does it mean that they have a side business and they're going to be taking calls and they're going to be doing things while they're working for me, running their own business? And I may start to ask some of those questions. So just be aware of the message you're sending. Okay, Lisa Duncan, 1957. Born in 1957. I may make some judgments if I'm in a tech company, for example, or I need someone to use an app or to be really current on technology. Can she do that? And the answer is probably yes. But am I going to give her a chance? I don't know. And the last one, Tech Challenged 0330. Probably born March 30th. That's harmless. Tech challenged, you just told me that you're not good at something, and I'm just going to pass because that may mean that you're self-aware, but in today's day and age, I need everybody who can use technology. And so I would say thank you for helping me eliminate a candidate. And again, that probably was not your intention. Okay, so let's dive into what the after the symbol is saying. Have little thumbs up and thumbs down. Again, not trying to be harsh. If you have a Gmail account, a Ymail account, Yahoo is okay, or Outlook, that's fine. You probably don't need to change anything on the other side of the @ symbol. If you have a .net, that probably means it's through your home internet provider. And what that means is that it could be a sign that it could be an age indication, but it also might mean that you're not connected to your phone. And that may be exactly the way you want to run your life. And I can actually respect that. However, if I am recruiting and I'm in a hurry to schedule all of these interviews, I want to know that someone's going to be reachable. And so I make an assumption that if somebody has a more modern email account, like a Gmail account, for example, which is by far the most common. And if you're going to have to change your email address because of anything I've told you, go ahead and get a Gmail account. And I don't get paid by Google. I'm going to assume that if you have a Gmail account and I send you a message, you're going to get an alert on your phone. Or if you're passing time at the car wash or waiting in line at the grocery store, that you're going to be scanning your email and you're going to be able to respond to me faster. I make an assumption, and I am speaking for myself here, that if you have a .net, I'm going to have to wait for you to get home, log in after dinner, and I may not hear from you for 24 hours or more. Probably not true, but I'm being honest about that one. I will own that stereotype. If you have an email address using a current employer while you're applying for to another company, that is a huge faux pas. Don't do it. And then Hotmail. I personally still have a Hotmail account. That's what I use to sign up for mailing lists if I think they're going to annoy me or spam me. Totally fine to still have one. But if I see it on a resume, I think they're pretty old school. So again, that's a little harsh. I'm sorry. But think about getting a Gmail or something that's a little bit more modern so that you're reflecting the culture of the company that you want. If you're applying for a trendy company, a new company, a tech company, your email address needs to look like you're going to fit in really well there. So I went through a lot of information really quickly. If we're not connected on social media, I invite you to connect with me so that we can get to know each other better and I can answer any questions that you have. I hope that this has been helpful. If there's 100 new Gmail accounts today, maybe this is why, but I wish you the very best in your job search. Thank you and have a great day.